Hello, guys, and welcome. Today, I have with me somebody I've been following on social media for a while. I mean, we've been speaking, and he's been coming in and out of Ghana every now and then. But I think this year is the time I get to see him. I'm seeing him for the second time, and I'm interviewing him this time.
We tell them steez for your body, breathe for your body, nice and steady as she moving her body. Pour some honey, tease me mommy, nice and steady as she moving her body.
All right, so welcome back, Goldkay.
Yes, sir.
Charlie Akwaba. You've been coming back and forth quite a lot more now. What brings you to town this regularly?
Basically, one thing that we noticed as a team, I say team, but there's like a couple of us, myself, Jess. Basically, we wanted to understand the ground a bit more in terms of what needs to be done from a granular standpoint for us to get, I guess, more recognized. Especially because of the fact that my songs are in the system, but because of the collaborations that I've done, people have confused them. It's like the other way around. So like I had a single called Bluffing that I released with Kuami Eugene, but when I've come here, I've come to understanding that people believe that it's Kuami Eugene's song.
So, I mean, you talked about confusion. So, to clear any sort of confusion, who would you say you are? Introduce yourself to.
Okay, so my name's Goldkay. I would say that I'm an Afro. I like to call it Afro vibe, but everyone's like, "What's Afro vibe?" So more so Afro dancehall. I've been in the game since 2016. My first single I did solo was Celebrate, which was kind of a commercial sound, more of a sound that somebody like Fuse would do. But then I decided to touch base with Ghana. Because here's where everything started. And in fact, a funny story, how I even got the name Goldkay. I was in the studio with DJ Breezy, and we were trying to think of a creative way to, I don't know, bring myself out. But at that point, I was just Nana K. And he was just like, "Set Nana de we Ohene." So it's the commodity that represents royalty being gold. And then K, my name's Kofi. So yeah,
Good,
so that's where the name came from. I've worked with, in terms of most recently, would probably be Bisa Kede. But I've worked with Kuami Eugene, B for Bona, Patapa. Who else I worked with?
That's an interesting pick.
That was a bit.
What led to that?
That was through management. I think
Okay.
there was a period where he was going through some drama. I think when he unleashed his missus from Germany, and I was just releasing a song called Back to Sender, and this
It's a
is where
good fit.
I guess, yeah, somewhat. The management at the time thought that it was a good idea. I just went along with it.
Good. But what did you think? I mean, you're saying management. What did you think?
It was interesting to say the least, not to discredit the work that he's done, but he wouldn't have been
A pick for you.
exactly just because of the type of music that I do. He doesn't do that type of music, so it was an interesting collaboration to say the least.
Good. So when you're picking a collaboration, what are you looking out for?
To be fair, there's only a couple of collaborations that I would say organically happened. So like my collaboration with Kuami Eugene was organic. We met each other through our management. At the time, he needed the studio, and I've got a mobile studio, so I took the mobile studio to him, and he told me his story about how he used to get on trotros and sing, and at times people would laugh at him and stuff like that. And that's when he was going by a different name. And for me, it was kind of a similar story because when I went to go and do my masters, I too used to go outside train stations and sing, and people would come and drop cash and whatnot, and I was able to raise enough money to go and do my masters. So it was kind of the same story. So the idea of Bluffing was just more so to just kind of let people know that you know what I'm saying, despite your situations or irregard of what anybody else around you might think about what you're doing, if you know what you're doing for yourself, then that's all that matters. You know what the end goal is.
Okay.
And yeah.
And the one with K there is the most recent work.
Yeah.
How did that also happen?
So Beast is like I'll say he's like a big bro. So he's somebody that I've known for a while now. And this was when he requested for me to come and support him in Belgium. And since then, it's like when you speak to him about his journey and what he's been through, because I remember his voice from the films. And like the way that he even got like his opportunity and his break, it was very, very interesting. And like I grew up on the type of music that he does. So for me, it was one, an honor because he's a legend in the game. And two, like, cause I guess just from wisdom and just by sitting with him and talking with him or what have you, I just felt like I needed to produce something that would complement what both of us do. Because I also know that his sound is somewhat evolved as well. Like his high life sound, he's kind of made it commercially audible. So yeah, he's one artist that I definitely respect, and his songwriting as well, as you know. He's a legend. So
I mean, you seem to be caught in two places. You doing music for the UK audience as much as for Ghana audience. How difficult is it looking at the peculiarities of these various markets?
I feel like Ghana, they are so loyal to their own sound that it's very, very difficult to be accepting of a whole foreign sound unless you are a popular artist. So if you're an emerging artist trying to bring a sound that they're unfamiliar with, unless you're doing a collaboration with their favorite artist, it takes a while for that sound to be drummed in. Like here, High Life is very big. So a lot of the artists from like Mr. Drew, Camido, King Promise. In fact, King Promise is a little different, but like the rest of the ones that I've named, their sound is like literally based off of High Life. But you've got people like Black Sheriff who has kind of broken that barrier on his own. Obviously, there were people that came before him, like your Kwesi Arthurs, your Kwaku Flicks, etc. But he broke that barrier, and because he's broken that barrier, he's allowed to introduce new sounds that people will accept because he's a popular artist. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So, but then obviously you've got the other side where there's artists who are known for a sound, so that when they actually trying to change their sound, their audience then also has a problem with that as well. So it's about trying to find the balance, because obviously even though I speak Cree, I'm also like, English is like what I speak, like more so. So it's also trying to find a balance between the two, so that it kind of fits in. I find that the Nigerian music industry has found a way to get that balance where they can introduce their language and it sounds like a vibe to the foreign ear, as opposed to sounding like a language that you have to try and understand. So that's where I'm trying to fit. But then the other thing is that introducing a sound like that also comes at a cost.
Never easy.
It's never easy.
So I mean, talking about projects, with all that knowledge and hindsight, what are you working on now, and then also in the future?
So I'm working on an EP at the moment to, I guess, reintroduce myself, but more so, it's like a question, it's like a call and response in the EP, as in like I'm questioning things, but then I'm answering them myself. But then the way that I'm answering them is not providing the answer, is more so providing a concept to one's mind, so that if you are listening to the music, you can find your own answer in that music, if that makes sense. As in you're asking, the questions are the same, but your answers are different because of the lifestyle that you've lived and the life that you've experienced, that your answers are going to be different. However, we share the same story. It's just that our outcomes are just a little different, and this is where we can learn from each other by just asking questions.
Cool.
But that's the concept of the body of work. We're still working on it.
What's it called?
Questions.
Questions. So that's the EP name.
Yeah, so we're still working on it. I say we're working on it, but we've actually recorded the body of work. Is just choosing the right songs, because there's some personal songs on there. There's some vibely songs on there, but all of it is to, I guess, challenge one's thinking. Because I say that my music is for the grown and sexy, so to speak. Not necessarily grown in age, but more so grown in mindset. Which is what I'm saying.
Wouldn't that limit your audience? Because the young people who make the songs popular, they only care about drinking, having fun.
Yeah, but you see, like in the project, I found a way to make those fun vibes where you can even though it's a vibe, you can still take something from it. Because I feel like for, I guess, the era of music that I'm from, we used to actually listen to music and take something from it. And I feel like that element of it is lost. Now, that's not to say that all the giddy music that we listen to isn't vibes, but they have a time limit. Whereas I don't want my music to have a time limit. Like, I want it to be timeless, so we can always go back and listen to it. Yeah.
So, while we're waiting for questions, how do you enjoy your music? What is available? Where can we find it?
So, my most recent single is entitled "Bad," and I featured our late presidents Kuami and Nkrumah in the intro. That was just more so to kind of, that song itself was, even though it's a fun song, it was more so to kind of let people know that right now, Africa's where it's at. And like, if you're not proud to be African, then I don't really know what to tell you. Like, be bad and bougie with it. Like, right now, everybody's trying to be African. No matter what race they're from, they're embracing the culture. And this is our cultural influence to the world. So we should embrace it. We shouldn't be afraid. We shouldn't be ashamed.
Okay. How is it doing?
It's doing all right. It's doing all right, especially here. There was a point where it had charted for a while. Like, it was there for like at least 6 weeks. So that song did all right. However, I feel like the song can do better, if I'm going to be honest. But we're still working on that, and that's why we're here. Because obviously the groundwork, here's the hub of Afrobeats, so.
Great. So you had it here. Make sure you go check out Bad and all the amazing songs that he has, from the ones with Kuami Eugene to Bisa Keide. So how do people find you?
Yeah, so I'm on social media. Everything is at Goldkay Official. And yeah, that's all across all the social media platforms, from Twitter, Instagram,
Snapchat.
Yeah.
Great. It's been amazing having you.
Thank you.
Stay for more amazing interviews on Ameyaw TV. Bye-bye.